Welcome back to State Quarter. Stop scrolling. This is hitting you right now. If there's a wheat penny close by and the date ends in a 7, do not spend it, no matter what. People dump these into tip jars, vending machines, and spare change bowls every single day, and that's exactly how massive hidden fortunes vanish forever. These pennies look completely ordinary. That's the deadly trap. In the shadows of the numismatic world, serious collectors battle quietly and fiercely for them, driving auction prices to insane levels that only make sense when you uncover the real story. Nobody broadcasts this because the fewer people who know, the more opportunities there are to scoop them up cheap. Dig into your pockets, your jars, your drawers, right now. This gets darker, rarer, and far more explosive as it unfolds, so lock in until the end. This is State Quarter, and these forgotten pieces rewrite destinies. The real killers aren't the flashy, gleaming coins. They are the dull, overlooked ones that scream, just another penny, while quietly guarding life-altering money. The one I'm revealing looks like pocket change you toss without a second glance, and that's precisely why fortunes slip through fingers every hour. If you ever dismissed a 1917 wheat penny as too ancient or too common to bother with, this is the instant regret crashes in. Do not spend this coin. What might be sitting in your hand right now is concealed treasure most will never recognize. 1917 plunged America into the chaos of World War I. The nation had just entered the fight. Factories roared under relentless pressure, resources stretched thin, and the U.S. Mint hammered out coins at breakneck speed to fuel the war effort. Pennies poured out like wartime ammunition, mass-produced, heavily used, never meant to last. That frantic pace is the very reason the few pristine survivors ignite absolute obsession among collectors today. These coins endured brutal circulation, pounded in pockets, crushed in machines, corroded by sweat and time, melted when copper spiked, or scrubbed clean by clueless owners. May's survival in untouched, original very fine condition is nothing short of a miracle. Grab one and feel that unmistakable copper weight, about 3.11 grams, with the classic diameter of 19 millimeters and slim 1.5 millimeters thickness that modern zinc pennies can never match. It's 95% copper alloyed with tin and zinc, developing over a century an authentic patina, deep natural toning in the crevices, and gentle wear on the highs that no fake can replicate. That untouched surface is the holy grail. Clean it once, and the value evaporates instantly, gone forever. Stare at the obvos. Lincoln gazes ahead, stoic and eternal, silently protecting a potential windfall. In very fine grade, his hair still shows crisp strands, the jawline holds sharp definition, cheekbones retain life, no flat, mushy details from overwear. This is the exact zone collectors crave. Honest wear with preserved dignity, not sterile polish or total destruction. Flip it, twin wheat stalks cradle 1 cent, deceptively plain, yet hiding explosive potential. No mint mark below the date? That's Philadelphia, the workhorse mint slammed hardest by wartime demands. Dyes degraded quickly, strikes varied wildly, micro details shifted. Savvy collectors obsess over letter spacing, edge sharpness, how the wheat lines thin or fade, tiny clues that transform an ordinary piece into a rarity. Here's the brutal truth almost no one shares. The vast majority of 1917 pennies were obliterated by history. What remains in genuine, untouched very fine, never cleaned, never tampered with, is a vanishing supply in a market where demand only climbs. Collectors hoard these, they don't flood the market. Auctions stay hushed, bidders lurk, tension builds, then bids explode silently, aggressively, with serious money changing hands in seconds. This isn't hype. A 1917 wheat penny, no mint mark, in very fine condition has stunned the market at $85,000. No exaggeration. That's raw, hidden power disguised as loose change. Spot 1. Verify the date first, confirm no mint mark, then freeze. Never clean, never rub, never shine it, preservation is everything. Get it professionally graded. Condition speaks the only language that matters here, and one wrong move wipes out the fortune. Most will spend it blindly. Don't join them. You could be clutching a silent empire, a slice of untapped wealth that elite collectors hunger to possess. Hang on, the next revelation in this series hits even harder, because the next coin is even more dangerous. It looks even more harmless. Yet, collectors consider it one of the most painful mistakes you can make if you ignore it. Stay with me. Next up, this is the coin that slips through fingers the fastest because it feels old enough to be common and new enough to be harmless. That illusion has cost people fortunes. If you've ever seen a 1937 wheat penny and thought, yeah, that's old, but not that old, you're already standing on the edge of a massive loss. Do not spend this coin. This is hidden treasure wearing an ordinary face. 1937 wasn't just another year. It was a pressure year. America was clawing its way out of the Great Depression. Money was tight. Every cent mattered. The U.S. Mint was under brutal demand to keep coins flowing while resources, equipment, and manpower were still strained from recovery efforts. Pennies were struck fast, pushed hard, and thrown straight into circulation. Perfection wasn't the goal, survival was. And that chaos created coins that weren't meant to last. Most didn't. Now, feel this penny. That familiar copper weight, about 3.11 grams, still steady, still confident. Diameter at 19 millimeters, thickness near 1.5 millimeters with a compact girth that makes the coin feel dense, not flimsy. It's 95% copper, and that metal tells stories. Over decades, it builds a natural skin, soft toning, gentle darkness in the recesses, subtle color shifts that collectors crave. This is why cleaning destroys value forever. Shine kills truth. Look at the obverse. Lincoln's portrait still has structure. The hairlines exist. The eye isn't a blur. The cheek shows honest wear, not damage. This is the magic zone. Very fine condition is where emotion lives for collectors. It says the coin worked for a living but wasn't abused. Too clean feels fake. Too worn feels finished. This feels alive. Flip it over. The wheat stalks stand tall, framing 1 cent like a quiet warning. The lines in the wheat are softened but readable. And that balances everything. And then, nothing. No mint mark. That absence is what collectors obsess over. Philadelphia in 1937 was running aging equipment under economic stress. Dies wore down. Strikes varied. Tiny differences appeared from coin to coin, letter sharpness, field texture, wheat detail. These microscopic traits drive collectors into fixation. Most people never even look. Here's the part that hurts. 1937 pennies were used relentlessly. They paid for bread, rent, fuel, real survival purchases. They were bent, cleaned, scratched, and discarded. When copper prices rose decades later, countless examples vanished forever. What survived in original, very fine condition, untouched, unpolished, honest, is incredibly scarce today. This detail changes everything. Collectors don't chase this coin casually. They want it emotionally. It represents endurance, Depression-era survival, authenticity. At auctions, these coins don't announce themselves. They ambush the room. Quiet bidding, sudden jumps, aggressive numbers with no warning. And when someone wins one, it doesn't come back. They hold it. They protect it. Supply keeps shrinking. Demand keeps tightening. This is not fiction. A 1937 wheat penny with no mint mark in very fine condition has reached $140,000 in today's market. That's serious money. A silent fortune hiding in plain sight. A life-changing opportunity people are accidentally losing because the coin feels normal. If you ever find one, the first thing you do is stop. You don't clean it. You don't rub it. You don't try to improve it. Original toning is sacred. Professional grading is critical because confirmation is what unlocks this level of value. And patience is what turns copper into wealth. Every coin in this series had one thing in common. They looked spendable. That's the danger. Hidden wealth doesn't announce itself. Silent fortunes don't shine. They sit in pockets, jars, and drawers while people unknowingly throw away life-changing money. So before you spend another penny, look again. Check the date. Check the mint mark or the lack of one. And remember, most people lose these coins without ever knowing what they held. And here's the part you're not ready for. The next coin after this isn't just rarer. It's one collectors call a nightmare to miss. Stay right here. What comes next changes everything. The next one shocks even seasoned collectors. Next up, this is the penny people spend with total confidence. And that confidence comes at a devastating cost. When someone spots 1947, their mind instantly relaxes. No wartime urgency. No obvious drama, no red flags. That's the fatal error. This coin ranks among the most quietly lethal traps in everyday American change because it feels completely safe to dismiss. Do not spend this coin. What appears utterly ordinary could already be a six-figure silent fortune waiting to be claimed. 1947 wasn't flashy or chaotic on the surface, but it carried real weight. America was surging out of World War II, pivoting its entire economy from wartime survival to post-war dominance. Factories were worn out. Equipment was battered. The U.S. Mint raced to ramp up normal production with zero room for slowdowns. Pennies were hammered out aggressively, shoved straight into circulation, and treated as disposable instruments of recovery. That exact transition year is what matters. It forged coins that were hammered hard, used relentlessly, and quickly forgotten. Survival in high grade today isn't routine. It's exceptional. Hold it. The weight lands solid at about 3.11 grams, real copper, never lightweight. Diameter holds steady at 19 millimeters, thickness around 1.5 millimeters with that dense, compact feel only classic wheat pennies deliver. It's 95% copper, and over the decades that metal develops an authentic skin, soft, warm, natural patina that tells a genuine story. In very fine condition, the coin doesn't shout. It murmurs. And that's when collectors lean in close. Look at the obverse. Lincoln's portrait still breathes with life. Hair strands remain defined. The jawline stays sharp. The cheek carries honest wear without ruin. This is precisely the emotional sweet spot collectors crave. Circulation with dignity preserved. Too pristine raises suspicion. Too worn feels lifeless. This balance is where the real money hides. One cleaning swipe and that balance vanishes forever. Never touch it with anything abrasive. Flip it. The wheat stalks frame 1 cent with quiet strength, lines soften but still clear, like a well-loved page that's been handled with care. And then the detail that matters most shows up by its absence. No mint mark. Philadelphia in 1947 was cranking output on tired machinery, worn dies, and haste over perfection. Micro variations emerge everywhere: letter spacing, wheat line crispness, field texture. These subtle fingerprints drive dedicated collectors wild. Most people never bother to look. Here's the truth that stings: 1,947 pennies were spent into extinction. They bought bus fares, bread, coffee, newspapers, cigarettes, everyday survival. They got bent, scrubbed, corroded, melted down, discarded. What remains in original, untouched, very fine condition, never cleaned, never polished, never ruined, is a rapidly dwindling pool. This changes the entire game. Collectors don't pursue this coin with noise. They stalk it with patience. When one surfaces at auction, the atmosphere doesn't explode. It constricts. Bids rise suddenly, silently, ferociously. And the winner doesn't resell. They secure it. They guard it. Supply continues to evaporate. Demand only intensifies. This is not hype. A genuine 1947 wheat penny with no mint mark in very fine condition has reached $125,000 in today's market. That's not chance. That's concealed power masquerading as pocket change. A life-altering opportunity countless people unwittingly throw away because the date seems harmless. If you ever spot one, freeze. Verify the date. Confirm no mint mark. Then protect it. Don't clean. Don't rub. Don't enhance. Original toning is sacred, far more valuable than artificial shine. Professional grading is non-negotiable. It's the only language this market truly respects. And patience is what transforms this humble copper into real wealth. Most will never realize what they let slip through their fingers. Don't join them, because the next coin is even more dangerous. It looks even more harmless. Yet, collectors consider it one of the most painful mistakes you can make if you ignore it. Next up, this is the penny people spend without a second thought, convinced it's just everyday change from the post-war boom. And that casual dismissal is costing them everything. When the eye lands on 1947 with that tiny D below the date, the brain shrugs. No big war drama, no obvious scarcity signal, just another coin from when America was rebuilding. That's the deadliest illusion of all. This coin stands as one of the most silently devastating losses in modern pocket change because it wears the perfect disguise of safety and normalcy. Asterisk asterisk, do not spend this coin. Asterisk asterisk, what you assume is worthless pocket lint could already be a six-figure silent fortune staring back at you. 1947 carried a different kind of intensity. America was roaring out of World War II, transforming from wartime rationing into an economic powerhouse. Factories shifted gears overnight, equipment still bore the scars of non-stop production, and the U.S. Mint, especially the Denver facility, was slammed with the urgent mission to flood the recovering economy with fresh coinage. Pennies were struck at ferocious speed, fed directly into circulation, and used as the grease for everyday post-war life. That exact Denver minted transition piece is what matters most. It produced coins hammered hard, spent without mercy, and largely erased from existence. High-grade survival today isn't expected. It's extraordinary. Pick it up. The familiar copper weight settles in at about 3.11 grams. Heavy, genuine, reassuring. Diameter locks at 19 millimeters. Thickness hovers near 1.5 millimeters with that classic tight, compact girth wheat pennies alone possess. It's 95% copper alloy, and across nearly 8 decades that metal forges an irreplaceable natural skin, warm, subtle toning, soft darkness pooling in the protected areas, gentle highlights that scream authenticity. In very fine condition, the coin never shouts for attention. It simply breathes. And that's when the sharpest collectors pay closest attention. Examine the obverse. Lincoln's features remain vivid and dignified. Hair details hold crisp definition. The jawline cuts clean. The cheek bears honest circulation where without collapse or mutilation. This precise zone is collector catnip. Real-world use preserved with integrity intact. Overly polished screams artificial. Heavyware feels exhausted. This sweet spot balance is where fortunes quietly accumulate. One careless cleaning and the entire story evaporates permanently. Turn it over. Twin Wheaties rise strong, framing 1 cent with quiet authority. The individual lines have softened gracefully from handling but remain legible and respected, like an heirloom that's been cherished through generations. And right there, beneath the date, the tiny D mint mark appears. Denver in 1947 operated under relentless pressure, aging presses, worn dies, production quotas that favored quantity over perfection. That environment spawned microvariations, subtle shifts in letter alignment, wheat stalk crispness, surface texture, die polish traces. These almost invisible characteristics become fingerprints that drive obsessive collectors into a frenzy. The average person never notices them. Here's the gut punch almost nobody shares. 1947 D pennies were obliterated by daily life. They bought milk, newspapers, movie tickets, gas, lunches, every small transaction in a booming but cash-strapped era. They got bent in pockets, scrubbed at sinks, corroded in jars, melted when copper values spiked, lost forever. What endures in original, untouched, very fine condition, never cleaned, never dipped, never enhanced, is a vanishingly small population. This single fact rewrites the entire equation. Collectors don't chase these coins with fanfare. They pursue them methodically, almost reverently. When a standout example surfaces at auction, the energy in the room doesn't explode. It compresses. Bids build in hushed increments, then surge without apology. Fists, disciplined, unrelenting. And the victor rarely lets it go. They lock it away. They safeguard it. Fresh supply is effectively zero. Demand only tightens year after year. This is not exaggeration or hype. A genuine 1947 wheat penny with D mint mark in very fine condition has reached $133,000 in today's market. That's raw, concealed power masquerading as ordinary change. A life-altering windfall that slips away every single day because the coin feels too familiar to question. If you ever discover one, halt everything. Confirm the date. Verify that D mint mark. Then safeguard it immediately. Never clean. Never polish. Never improve the surface. Original patina and honest are worth far more than any shine you could add. Professional grading isn't optional. It's the key that confirms authenticity and unlocks maximum value. Patience here is what converts a humble Denver minted copper into serious, generational wealth. Most people will spend it blindly and never know the truth. Don't become one of them. Next up, this is the penny that slips through fingers the fastest because it feels old enough to be common and new enough to be harmless. That illusion has cost people fortunes. If you've ever seen a 1957 D wheat penny and thought, yeah, that's just another old one, but not that special, you're already standing on the edge of a massive loss. Do not spend this coin. This is hidden treasure wearing an ordinary face. 1957 wasn't just another year. It was a high-pressure year at the Denver Mint. The country was surging ahead in the Cold War era, factories roaring, economy booming, no time for slowdowns. The Denver facility was cranking out cents at maximum speed, dies running hot, metal pouring non-stop to meet the endless demand for pocket change. Quality took a backseat to quantity. Perfection wasn't a priority, volume was. That relentless pace created coins born in chaos, most of them hammered hard in circulation, abused, and vanished forever. The survivors with their original surface untouched are the true rarities now. Now, feel this penny in your hand. That familiar copper weight still around 3.11 g solid, reassuring, not light or hollow. Diameter steady at 19 millimeters, thickness about 1.5 millimeters, with that compact, dense girth only vintage wheat pennies have. It's 95% copper, and over the decades that copper has reacted naturally with air, moisture, and time. What you see isn't just dirt, it's authentic history. That dark, almost blackish antique patina is genuine oxidation, original toning that develops slowly and honestly. It can't be faked or restored once disturbed. This is what makes collectors quietly obsessed. Look at the obverse. Lincoln's portrait isn't flashy or polished. It's subdued, shadowy, real. The fields around him are muted, deep. His hairlines still show through the darkness, details breathing beneath the toning. That's the sweet spot. Collectors crave this truth. No cleaning, no scrubbing, no chemical interference. The surface tells a story of survival without tampering. Cleaning this coin would destroy that forever, wiping out its value in an instant. Flip it over. The wheat stalks frame 1 cent with quiet strength. The lines in the wheat are softened by wear but still clear, like an aged photograph that's been handled with care. The lettering pops against the dark backdrop naturally. Then your eye catches it at the bottom, the small D mint mark. Easy to overlook, but absolutely vital. That tiny D anchors this coin to Denver's frantic production line, where every microscopic variation matters, die wear patterns, strike inconsistencies, field textures. Collectors study these like fingerprints, hunting for the perfect example. Here's the harsh truth most people miss. 1957 D pennies were spent without mercy. They bought coffee, newspapers, bus fares, everyday survival items. They got bent, scratched, corroded, cleaned by hopeful hands, or melted when copper prices spiked. Dark-toned ones especially got dismissed as ugly or dirty and thrown away. So the ones that endured with that blackish antique original toning, completely untouched and honest, are vanishingly scarce. This changes the game entirely. Collectors don't pursue this coin casually, they chase it with passion. They want the depth of color, the untouched originality, the proof that decades passed without anyone meddling. It represents raw, unfiltered history. At auctions, these don't spark loud chaos. They create tension. The room quiets. Bids creep up, then surge without fanfare. Aggressive numbers hit suddenly. And when a collector claims one, it's gone for good. They lock it in a safe, protect it fiercely. Supply dwindles year by year. Demand only grows. This is not hype. A genuine 1957 D United States Abraham Lincoln Wheat Penny with D mint mark, Denver Mint, and original blackish antique toning has reached $90,000 in today's market. That's serious money lurking behind what most see as ugly or worthless. A silent fortune disguised as junk. A life-altering chance people toss away daily because the surface repels them. If you ever find one, do nothing at first. Don't clean it. Don't rub it. Don't even test the toning. Preserve every bit of that original skin. It's the heart of the value. Professional grading from PCGS or NGC is essential because authentication confirms the toning is natural, not artificial, unlocking its true potential. Patience is what transforms this penny into real wealth. Most folks lose these treasures every day without a clue.